Welcome. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce right here for the 24th of July 2014. Consider this just a ordinary podcast. It's going to be short, sweet, and hopefully to the point. Well, I don't know how sweet it's going to be. As you know, that the views expressed in the Wayne S. Pierce Show are off until August 4th. We are taking a well-deserved vacation from the shows. Or I am. I say we is. What have I got, a mouse in my pocket or something? Anyway, I'm going to be working behind the scenes. I'll put it that way. I'll be gathering more information and all of that to share with you on the Wayne S. Pierce Show and also on the Views Expressed live. Now, what is going on? Well, first of all, let me give you a little bit of a rant. Okay, just a little bit of a rant. Let me point my fingers right at those that call themselves Republicans and Democrats, conservatives and liberals and all of them. First of all, you guys collectively are a bunch of freaking idiots. Okay? There is no such thing as a dual political system in this country anymore. We don't have a two-party system. We only have one system, and the system is growing and becoming a massive cancer among the free and sovereign citizens of the United States. The Republicans and Democrats, conservatives, liberals, whatever you want to call them, they're just labels. And these people are being represented by people who do not have the best interest of you and I in their hearts. And therefore, it is no longer a viable foundation to build or to continue with this current structure we have in the United States. And the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution give us the right to take back our country from a tyrannical system that currently resides in the nation's capital. It is our right and duty and obligation to do that. And my finger is pointing right at both the Republicans and Democrats, conservatives and liberals. You people are complete idiots when it comes to what true freedom and sovereignty are. Now, of course, the people that actually control Washington, D.C., the corporations and their minions and the world leaders and the elites and all those that control those people that control every single country in the world, these people are the ones that need to be brought down. Oh, and by the way, you Republicans and Democrats who want to side with the globalists, when they're done with you, they're going to chew you up and spit you out just like the rest of us. Because you're going to wind up in one of those facilities for re-education. And let me tell you something. I'll be damned if I go to one of those, because I plan on not being in one of those, as well as over 80% of the American people who understand and who are completely awake to the fact that we have a criminal government in Washington, D.C. right now. Criminal leaders implementing criminal laws and covering their ass in the process. I'll be back right after this short break. Don't go away. It's going to be a short podcast, so pay attention. Are you tired of listening to boring online late-night radio? Then listen to Late Night in the Midlands with your host, Michael Vera, 9 p.m. to 12 midnight Eastern. Go to www.latenightinthe midlands.com for more information.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. Hold on tight. Get ready.
Hey folks, welcome back. It's me, your Reverend Wayne S. Pierce, right here for the 24th of July, 2014. Lots of things going on. Let me get into this whole issue of the Democrat and Republican side of things. Yes, I have literally decided I'm not going to waste my time talking to Democrats or Republicans, but I will point out their flaws, and hopefully they'll get a freaking clue. But here's what I want to say directly to them, specifically to the Republicans, who are now just a shadow of what they once were, as well as the Democrats. But this goes for all of it. Hey, Republicans, enough of the charade. You are losing the battle. The Democrats are stealing this country right out from under all of us. And what the hell are you doing about it? Not a damn thing, apparently. Also, Democrats, shut your damn mouths. You look very stupid when you allow people like Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid to represent you and say what they say. There is no line of demarcation anymore. The line is gone. There's only one party. The Communist Party the Communists rule the White House. It's time for all you liberals and conservatives to shut your pie holes and listen up. You are on notice. You are now the enemy of all free and sovereign citizens of the United States. As much as you want to divide us, you are bringing us together to stop you once and for all. Common Core. More like Communist Core, World Core, Bill Gates' baby, is a POS. There is no absolute one-size-fits-all answer, but you are trying to push your socialist, communist, fascist, Marxist agenda on us. You will not win. United, we stand. Divided, never. We are at the ready. We are at our battle stations. Bring it on. Strap yourselves in. We're in for a bumpy ride. Now, I paused there for reasons of not only emphasis, but also of my poor grammar. Yes, I call the grammar Nazis on myself every once in a while. And I really want everyone to understand two very important things when it comes to the political process in this country. The votes are rigged, your votes don't count, and everything has been predetermined long ago. And more specifically, in the next 2 years, the new quote-unquote president, the new puppet in the suit at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in our nation's capital, has already been determined. The rest of it is nothing more than a dog and pony show. That's all it is, folks. Now, y'all can say whatever it is you want to say. You can all determine for yourselves what is best for you, which I hope you do. But I think one of your, one of your candidates on the Republican side of things said it best. Senator Ted Cruz said, "I think all of us owe an incredible debt to Dr. Ron Paul for shining the light on the Fed." And that's true. That's absolutely, positively true. Because if it wasn't, and since the 80s, since Dr. Ron Paul has been in Congress, he has opened the door to focus attention on the Federal Reserve and the IRS. Because you can't have one without the other. But he focuses on the Federal Reserve. In 1913, when President Woodrow Wilson signed the Internal Revenue Act and the Federal Reserve Act, he pretty much set this country up for failure. Failure in terms of the corporations bringing in their tactics of slavery to put us all under the yoke of corporatism. It is now part and parcel of this world, of this nation, specifically of the United States, to enslave people in jobs paying them very little, to trap them in their local areas so they won't break free to be the people that they were born to be. We are free and sovereign citizens. Our minds are free. Our souls are free. No matter if we're trapped in an 8x6 cell, we are free. We know far beyond what these corporate shills and corporate bosses tell us. We are far beyond the intellectual, how can I put this? We are far beyond the intellectual shadow. Now, what do I mean by that? Many, many years ago, hundreds of years ago, intellectuals were the top-notch people in the area. And they knew a lot, and people were coming to them, asking them questions. How can I do this? Would it be better if? And they just went from there. Until those that became more arrogant to feed their overinflated egos began to corporatize most of their businesses. Then, of course, you have slavery in America. The ships from the Indies, from West Africa, from Europe all came over here dropping off and selling human beings. Not just blacks, but Asians, Spanish, I was going to say Mexicans, but them too. A whole lot of other people. And did you know that there was white slavery as well? So I don't want to hear this business about me being racist. I'm not. I've studied my history. Slavery was across the board on all races. But those that were intellectual would look at them and say, oh, well, maybe I could do this and this and this. And so the slave ships and those that owned them became rich. So now we have a different form of slavery in the United States called corporatism. And when you look at the very foundation of what it is nothing more than corporate slavery. Instead of each plantation having their own degree of slavery, it is now a worldwide form of slavery. And I paused only for a moment because I had a thought, and the thought is this. If you are against slavery of any kind, you must be against the corporations. That is what the left will tell you, but not in those words. They will say, our corporation does this to help out this community and this place and blah, blah, blah. They'll They'll shine that turd up as shiny as they can get it, but they'll still throw it at you. It doesn't matter. Corporate slavery is wrong. Minimum wage is wrong. Unions are wrong. And when I say unions, I'm talking corrupt unions in the last 25 years or longer. I believe they became corrupt for the sole purpose of gaining a benefit over the workers instead of the workers gaining the benefit over the business they worked for. That is just my 2 cents worth, my opinion. I'm speculating on that one. But think about this also on this side of the spectrum. We have a group of people that work their butts off every single day to bring you the food to the stores that you go buy with the very little money that you make at the job you work at. Think about that one. We also have those trucks and cars bringing those products to those stores filled with petroleum refined from oil. Those companies are making money. Hundreds of billions of dollars a year and being subsidized by your tax dollars. If a person can go to eastern Montana or up in North Dakota and get an hourly wage of anywhere between $20 to $30 an hour, who's making the money? If someone in California at a refinery plant on the coast is, some worker there pulling a button and twisting a, valve is making $15 an hour or more, who's making the money? Because you can't have a company paying that kind of money without them making a huge profit. Okay? Now, where does all this lead? It leads right back to the politicians you thought you voted into office. It goes back to the politicians that you had a good feeling about. But remember, folks, your votes don't count because it's all rigged. All of it. Now, I've said in past broadcasts that your local voting does make a difference, and I stand by that statement. But on a national level, your votes don't count at all. And they never will. Why do you think it takes so long to get something done in your city, your county, or your state? It is because the feds do not, and I call them what they are, the feds don't want you thinking outside of the box. Don't want your governor thinking outside of the box. Don't want your governor taking any action against any corruption there is in the state. Did Governor Rick Perry in Texas put 1,000 National Guard troops on the border? Well, if he did, I applaud him. If he did, but he limited their not only their presence, but their ability to do their job to protect the border, then I don't applaud him. It takes we the people to stand up to the corporatism of this nation and get rid of the slavery that is now encroached upon our freedoms and rights. Oh, and that goes down the line, folks, into homeowners associations, into housing authorities, into you name it. It does affect all of us in every single way. Now, how do you, as an individual, not only cope with the situation, but remedy the situation? What kind of answers do you have? Well, you're the one that's going to have to figure that out for your own benefit or for the benefit of your family. I don't have the one-size-fits-all answer, nor do I have the answers on a silver platter that I can give you. I only have possible solutions. And the possible solution, if you live, and let me go in this direction, if you live in a housing area with a homeowners association, or you live in some sort of subsidized housing, you need to grab an attorney who knows the ins and outs and ask him questions. And literally ask him those pointed questions that he can answer. Such as, if you live in a neighborhood with a homeowners association, and I'm working on my car in my garage, and they get pissed off that I'm working on my car in my garage, can I sue them? Or how about this? If you live in subsidized housing and your lease agreement says that you cannot have any type of weapon to protect you, can you sue them for violating your Second Amendment right? Now, I've heard stories, many stories in the last almost a year now, about homeowners associations, housing authorities, different neighborhoods, people being suppressed, this kind of thing. So it goes beyond all of that. And it gets down to the very nitty-gritty of our constitutional rights. I should say our God-given rights protected by the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. For instance, you can walk around your city all day long. Are you going to see a sign on a pole somewhere that says free speech zone? Are you going to see a sign near a school, maybe a block or so away, that says gun-free zone? Well, did you know that those are a violation of the Second and First Amendment respectively? Did you know that? Did you know that your city is actively pursuing Agenda 21 policies under the UN Charter? Yes. Did you know this? You didn't know this? You better go check it out. Stories are coming out now where people are now getting very, very pissed off at their cities for violating their rights. Starts as a little trickle, and that's where it's at. It's gaining speed. It's also, I'm hearing people suing homeowners associations. I'm hearing people suing housing authorities. I'm hearing people suing the whole city for violating God-given protected rights. Now, I'm not a legal advisor. I'm not any of that. That's why I suggest you go and talk to an attorney that knows this stuff in and out. And let me ask you another question. How are you preparing for the inevitable? Because you know that once the Constitution and Bill of Rights are suspended by this corporate shill we have in the White House, you know that all the rules and policies that you have that govern your city, state, county, and all your housing authorities and homeowners associations, did you know that all of those policies are now null and void? Because there's no law governing these things. Did you know that if they... Now, on the other side of that coin, did you know that if they do suspend the Constitution, did you know your state constitutions override all of that? And your states can then immediately secede from the rest of the country? Now, again, I could be wrong in that. So please email me at freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. I could be wrong. I could be, so you need to help me out here. And put in the subject line, radio. That way I know you've heard this. But if you are an attorney and you have information that you can lend me or send my way, please do. I would love to hear it. I'd love to read it. The last question I have, or the last thing I want to talk about is pretty simple. And that is, and I'm only doing a half hour, so I'm coming down to the last 4 minutes of the podcast. So what I want to say is this, and it's really, really simple. You can steer your whole city, state, county, whatever, into the right direction that will then push back the feds. Now, they want to come in and take over every state, get rid of all the borders. It's just going to be one country. It's going to be under UN rule and charter and all this and all that. But people, you and I, we the people, the masses of people can come together and steer this country into the right direction, fulfilling its destiny to be the United States of America, like our founding fathers wanted it to be. But remember, we have corporations that don't want that. They want to enslave you, suppress you, put you in a box, make you wear blinders, or be a Borg-type entity. Something to think about. In the meantime, folks, again, the views expressed, the Wayne S. Pierce Show is taking a well-deserved vacation. I thank you for all your support. Go to freeamericaradio.us to donate to Free America Radio Network to help us get to the next level. You can also go to the WayneSPierceShow.weebly.com to donate to that show specifically as well on the Free America Radio Network. And if you want to advertise, you can go to freeamericaradio.us and go to the sponsors page, or go to the WayneSPierceShow.weebly.com and go to the sponsors page as well there. But you can also make it a lot easier on yourself by emailing me and asking me questions about advertising on Free America Radio Network. Email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. On August 4th, I'll resume live broadcasting for the views expressed live, and I would hope that you would share that program with others and listen to it as well. You can go to Spreaker.com to get the apps for your personal communication devices that you have, your tracking systems. Go to Spreaker.com, go down to the bottom of the page. On the right-hand side, you'll see all the apps you need for your personal communication device. In the meantime, folks, have a great day. Have a great weekend. I shall return to live broadcasting on Monday, August 4th with the views expressed live at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Free America Radio Network.